Good morning, 7th standard. Welcome back. Today we are going to start the next chapter, chapter number 4, simple equations. It's on page number 77 in your textbook. And before we start the chapter, we are going to write down a few definitions. The first definition that we have is for an equation. If you can recall, we did this topic last year in algebra. We learned about equations, we learned how to solve the equations, we learned how to represent real life problems in the form of equations and then find the answer. Now, let us quickly revise those. Equation is a mathematical statement which contains an equality sign. So if there is a mathematical statement would involve numbers. And if we speak about algebra, your statement could also involve variables. Variables are the unknown values which are represented by lowercase letters from English alphabet by X, Y, Z, etc. So your mathematical statement could contain only numbers. Your mathematical statement could contain numbers and variables. The important thing is your statement must have an equality sign. So there should be an equals to sign in your statement. Such kind of statements are called equations. If your equations contain only numbers, like these two contain only numbers, these are called numerical equations. And if your equations contain variables along with the numbers, then these are called algebraic equations. And these are the equations we will be studying about in this chapter. The purpose will be to find out the value for this variable used. In case of mathematical statements, is easier to see if the two sides are equal. For example, if you look at these numerical equations, if you solve both these expressions, 7 into 3 is 21. Over here we have 42 divided by 2. The answer is 21. So the two sides are equal. The answer for both the expressions is same. So we can put equality sign between them. Same goes for the second example. 17 plus 13 becomes 30. 10 into 3 is also 30. So the two answers are equal. We can put equality sign. But when it comes to algebraic equations, we cannot see whether the two sides are equal or not. The expression x plus 5 is equal to 12. This gives us an idea that there is a value which is missing. It has been represented by x, and when 5 is added to that missing value, the answer is 12. Now you can solve or find that missing value orally. You can think of the answer. Same way, you can take a look at the next two expressions which are a little more complicated. We have 2x. There is no sign between 2 and x, so this means it's multiplication. So there is a number which is missing or some value which we need to find out. It has been represented by x. You multiply that value by 2. The answer is divided by 7. Division will be represented as a fraction. Division by 7. And the answer comes out to be 36. What could be the missing number? Now, taking a look at the third example. X again is a missing value. There is a number or a value which is missing. It has been multiplied by 2. From the answer, 2 is subtracted. Whatever is the answer is same as the answer which you would obtain if you added 98 to the same number. Now these are various ways we will learn how to find the answer, but you need to keep in mind a numerical equation can always be verified, but algebraic equation cannot be verified until we have the answer for the variable itself. So we assume that the expression given as such or the statement given as such is true. We will tell whether the equation is an algebraic equation or not by looking at two things. we need to look for the equality sign, and then we need to look for a variable. Now there are equations which contain many variables. There could be an equation with 2 or 3 or maybe 5 variables, but we will be working with algebraic equations containing only one variable. The next definition that we have is parts of an equation. You are also familiar with this. Now, when we write an equation, we use equality sign. That equality sign divides your statement into two parts. The part on the left of equality sign is called left hand side. In short, we write it as LHS, and the part on the right of the equality sign will be called right hand side. In short, we will write down RHS. Both of these are written in capitals. So if we take an example, I have taken the example from the previous ones, x plus 5 equals to 12. This is on the left of equals to. This will be called left hand side. 12 is on the right of equality sign. This will be called RHS. The next definition that we have is solution or a root of an equation. The value of variable which satisfies the equation. Now remember, solution or root is value of variable. The variable in your equation represents some missing value, some number. If you can find that number, if you can find that value, that will be called solution or root of the equation. But how do we know our answer is correct? We would know that answer is correct by looking at this condition. So we are looking for such value which satisfies your equation. Satisfies your equation means which makes left hand side equal to right hand side. Let's take an example. So x plus 5 equals to 12. Again, I've taken the same example which I took earlier. I am looking for a value of x such that if I use the value here and I add 5 to that value, the answer will be same as what I have on right hand side. So you can think of that answer as 7. Yes? So let us see how we are going to do this. So LHS is x plus 5. The RHS is 12. So assuming that I have been given the value of x as 7, I have to check if x equals to 7 is a solution or not. So how would I do it? I'm going to use the value of x as 7. And this means I will replace x by 7. X will disappear. In place of x, I will be writing 7. So in place of x, I will write 7. 5 is added to that and it gives me 12, which is the same on right hand side. So LHS, RHS. The answers on both sides are now equal. Therefore, x equals to 7 is solution or root of given equation. I hope you can recall we did questions like these last year as well. Now this is a way where the equation is given, an option is given, and we have to check whether the option is correct or not. We will later learn how to find out the answer directly if we are not given the option. We will learn how to solve it. We will learn how to find the answer. But if you are given the equation and you have been given an option and you want to know whether that option is right or not, this is how you're going to do it. Separate the two sides, the left hand side, the right hand side. Use the value given. Whichever value of the variable is given, use it. If the variable is present on one side, use it on one side. If the variable is present on both sides, you will be using this value on both sides. Now what we are looking for, that your final answers should match on both sides. So here the answers match. We get 12 on this side, we have 12 on this side. The answers are equal. That's why this option is correct. So we can say x equals to 7 is the solution or root of the given equation. If the answers didn't match, we would say that the given option is not a solution of the given equation. Based on this, we can do first question from exercise 4.1. Exercise 4.1, page number 81. Question number 1. If you are having the book, you can do this question in the book, or you can do it with me on the notebook. This is the question that we have. The first question, you've been given some equations. Along with that, you've been given some values of the variable. And finally, you have to answer. Say whether the equation is satisfied, yes or no. So what we are trying to find out is, if we use this value in place of the variable, would the two sides give me same answer? So in the first part, the equation is x plus 3 equals to 0. The value is x equals to 3. If I use this value here in place of x, if I use this value, x is replaced by 3. So on left hand side, I will have 3 plus 3. This will be 6. On right hand side, we have 0. Are the two answers equal? No. So the answer will be no. You can do this orally because these are very simple equations. Compared to this question, we will be doing question 2 the way we have done the example. This question can be done orally. Question number 2 will be done like the examples. Question number 2 will be done like the example which I showed you before this question. Looking at the second part, x is 0. So if I use x as 0, so that means in place of x, I want to put 0. So this will be 0 plus 3. 0 plus 3 is 3. Is the answer same as the other side? No. This gives me 3. Over here I have 0. This side and this side will not be equal. So the answer is no. Now looking at the third part, the value of x is minus 3. So in place of x, if I use minus 3 plus 3, same number with positive sign, with the negative sign, they get cancelled and this becomes 0. On other side also I have 0. So using this option makes both sides equal. So yes, this is the correct answer. This satisfies my equation. This is how you have to do the remaining parts. If you want, you can do these parts on your own and then match your answer, or you can do these parts with me side by side. So in fourth and fifth part, I have the same equation. I have been given the options as x equals to 7 and x equals to 8. Let's try using these in the equation. So if I use 7, x equals to 7 over here, so that means this value will be replaced by 7. So 7 minus 7 gives me 0. But on other side I have 1. Is this option correct? No. Now try using 8. If I had 8 here, 8 minus 7, the answer would be 1, which is same as the other side. So this is the correct option. In the next three parts, I have the same equation, 5x equals to 25. Remember 5x, there is no sign between 5 and x. So this is multiplication. 5 multiplied by x gives you 25. Probably you have already thought of what the correct answer is, but let's check it one by one. X equals to 0. So if x was 0, so 5 multiplied by 0 will be 0. Equal to 25? No. Next option is 5. So 5 multiplied with 5. 5 into 5 will be 25. So this is correct. Now we have x as minus 5. 5 multiplied with minus 5 will be minus 25. But over here the answer is 25. Is this option correct? No. Now for the next three parts, we have these three options. The equation is m by 3 equals to 2, and m by 3 means m divided by 3. So choose this number, divide by 3 and see if the answer is 2 or not. So if I use m as minus 6 over here, if I use minus 6, I hope you remember how to carry out the division. Divide your numbers and the negative goes with the answer. If there are two minus signs, they get cancelled. 6 divided by 3. So 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6. So on this side, the answer would be minus 2. But over here, it's 2. Are the two answers equal? No. Now look at this part. Use m as 0. So if I have 0 divided by 3, 0 divided by 3 will be 0. Is it same as the right side? No. Using m as 6, if I had 6 divided by 3, the answer would be 2. Same as right hand side, so this option is correct. Now let us take a look at question number 2. Check whether the value given in the brackets is a solution to the given equation or not. Now you have been given one value with each equation and you have to show your work. In question number 2, you will be showing your work. So this is question number 2, first part. The equation is n plus 5 equals to 19. Option is n equals to 1. You have to tell whether this is a correct option or not. Means whether this is the solution of this equation or not. It's important to show your work in this question. So this will be done like the example. So we have done an example right before this exercise. I want you to solve this question exactly the same way. The first step is to separate the two sides. Separate your left hand side and right hand side. Your left hand side is n plus 5. Expression on left of equals to. Right hand side is the value on the right. This is 19. So I have separated the two sides. Equality has now been omitted. We don't write equals to anymore. The two sides are written separately. The next step, after you have separated the two sides, and the next step is to use the value of the variable. So variable is present on this side, not on this side. So this value will be used on this side. So the next step is to use n as 1. So if I use n as 1, what will happen? N will be replaced by 1. So in place of n, I'm going to write down 1. And with this, I have 5 added. So this becomes 6. First step, separate the two sides. Whichever side has the variable, use the value given. After you have used the value, compare your answers. Now comparing your answers, is LHS equal to RHS? Are the two sides equal? No. So equality is not there. No equality. LHS is not equal to RHS. The option given to us, n equals to 1, is not the solution. So this was step number 1, where you separate the two sides. This is step number 2, using the value. This is step number 3, where you compare the two sides. And then finally you give your answer based on step number 3. If on step 3 the two sides give same answer, you say yes, this is the solution. But if on step 3 the answers don't match, you say that the given option is not the solution. In exam you don't have to write these are only for your reference. You need not write down step 1, step 2, step 3. You just need to keep these in mind. You only have to show this work. So you don't need to number the steps. Second part, we have 7n plus 5 equals to 19. N is given to be minus 2. Now let's do it step by step. First step, separate the two sides. We have 7n plus 5 on left hand side, 19 on right hand side. The next step is to use the value given. Use n as minus 2. So n will be replaced by minus 2. Remember, this is 7n. This is 7 multiplied with n. So when I replace n by minus 2, I have to multiply with 7. So this will be 7 multiplied with minus 2 plus 5. So 7 into 2 is 14. We had a negative sign, so negative sign will be here with the answer. Plus 5. Now recall integers. Negative number, positive number. We will subtract. Subtracting 14 and 5, we get 9. The larger number out of these two is 14, which is negative. So the answer will be negative. On right hand side, I had 19. So I have done first two steps. I have separated the two sides. I have used the value of the variable. Now I have to compare. Compare the two sides. Are my answers equal? Yes or no? No. So the answer will be n equals to minus 2 is not the solution. Let's do the third part. We have the equation as 7n plus 5 equals to 19. It is the same equation as in the second part. This time the value is 2, n equals to 2. So let's do it step by step. Separate your two sides. Left hand side is 7n plus 5 and the right hand side is 19. The next step is to use the value n equals to 2. So 7n means 7 multiplied with n. So this will be 7 multiplied by 2. N is replaced by 2 plus 5. Solving 14 plus 5. This is 19. Second step done. Now I compare. Are the two sides having same answer? Yes, the two sides are equal. So the answer will be n equals to 2 is a solution. I want you to try the remaining three parts yourself. Parts D, E and F you will do yourself.